Well, in my opinion, I think that like versus like universities, I think that Slick actually does better in some cases, especially your general education.
And so with the business, what they're giving you is an education. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel that your product is? Like, how do you feel your education is?
I guess 8 or 9, yeah. It's working good with me.
I think that'd be based upon individual classes. Some of my classes I rated about a 10, depending on the professor. And then on other classes I rated it towards like a 3 or a 4. Probably obviously my average would be about 6, 7.
Give it about, let's see here. I'm fairly satisfied with what I'm getting. 8? An 8? So that's...
Yeah, I think that I get what I pay for out of my education. I think I would get more out of a university, but you're going to pay more at a university. So for the money that I pay, I think I get what I pay for.
Definitely, I would have to say an 8. I feel just like Austin said, we've had some teachers that to step it up. We've also had some excellent teachers. All of them seem to do a great job in teaching us and at least providing us a criteria of what we should learn. And well, overall, pretty good. I'm learning a lot of good stuff.
I don't remember the exact number, but isn't Slick one of the highest graduating colleges?
We are number 3 in the nation. You know, that varies. Some years we're number 4, some years we're number 2, but yeah, we actually have a very successful graduation rate for community colleges.
Of course, this is going to be biased just like every other student, but probably decreasing the tuition. Budget cuts are killing programs, and they're increasing tuition. And when you kill programs and you increase tuition, it's kind of like it's poor consumer, or it's poor business side. Like you're asking me to relate it towards the consumer and the business side.
Yeah.
How can you tell me that it's worth it for my sake to pay more for something, but you're not giving me as many opportunities on the other end?
I think we're going to be forced to go into college with tuition going up. I think it's forced. The world is competitive.
Well, no, it's just he's saying that you agree with it. That you say that if you want to go to college, you want to go to college, even if the tuition rate.
Yeah. We'd be forced to because
Society.
Society is very competitive. People with a college education and degree get paid more. Employers look for that. So it's just only going to hurt the common person. If tuition is going to raise, less people are going to be able to afford it. There's going to be, I predict, a lesser middle class because less people are getting an education.
It's funny that we're thinking of raising the tuition to help education, pay for the teachers to do a better job or whatever the case is. Yet that will just push more people out, and there goes our education in general.
No, it seems like a
We
big balancing
absolutely
act.
do not want to raise tuition because we feel that our tuition is really, frankly, too high already. I mean, what's our tuition rate? About $130 a credit hour, you know, with some fees. And then, oh, by the way, you probably pay more for your books than you do your tuition. So you start thinking of all of that, and this is a community college, an open access institution that's designed to serve a very broad community. We're not selective admission, you know, we're not Harvard. And so we want to keep that tuition as low as possible, which means that, you know, other things like faculty salaries and other things are also kept low.
Yeah, definitely a big balancing act.
Yeah.
The funding comes from fees, from student fees, from our tuition. Comes from, a lot of it comes from the government, obviously, for taxes. But I do understand that there's a lot to make a school run, and you have to pay for the faculty, you have to pay for the catering, the foods, you have to pay for the lighting, you have to pay for the employees, you have to pay for the highway patrol. I mean, there's just a lot of different things, and especially with how many different buildings and different campuses we have, I realize that it is a business. It is very tedious to take care of. But I mean, for one example, we're destructing the AD building, which is in good condition. I mean, obviously it's good to renovate stuff. We're building a new AD building right now, but we're taking away programs out of it. We're getting rid of the cosmetology and the barbering. But those are two very high enrolled programs. And so to me, it's like, okay, great. You're increasing my tuition every semester. You're renovating the school, but you're cutting these programs. I mean, I'm not taking any of these programs by all means, but for the other students who are. And instead, we cut out another program, remodeled the whole school because we wanted to just make it look nicer. But for what cost? And the AD building, it's probably one of the oldest buildings, but it still is in excellent condition. And now they're tearing it down to rebuild this brand new one that's a little bit more personal for President Bioto. I just think that things like that could be cut and changed a little bit. It's a 4-story building that they're building over there now.
New like buildings here. There's a couple coming up, and then South City there's expansions there
the
too.
expansion at South City is to address our media programs. There may be some growth associated with that. The new building basically is to replace some antiquated buildings, including the one that you're sitting in right now. You know, and this makes sense or it doesn't make sense, but if the earthquake hits and I'm sitting in my office, I'm toast.
Good luck.
Yeah, this is not, you know, the new seismic requirements and other things. This
Okay.
building is not up to par on that. And, you know, buildings, people don't always think of it this way, but they do have a life cycle, and it's about 30 to 40 years. After that, they either require extensive renovation or tear down. And at the end of the day, usually it's cheaper to tear something down and build another one than it is to renovate one.
If we compare this college, it's coming to college. So if we compare coming to college to some other like university or something, it's coming to college is way cheaper and it's kind of easier to study in class. I mean, if when I compare with other friends, it's like I used to have like a lot of assignments and stuff. It's kind of hard, but is I should say the level is kind of lower than university. But there's a lot of assignments, so you can just practice, I guess, more. And there's less. The class size is smaller than university, so you can get more opportunities with professors and learning and stuff.
I love Slick, I will say that. That's why I'm still here. I'm in my 6th year at the 2-year school.
The flexible schedules, because with my 2 jobs, like I can usually find classes that fit into my schedule, so that's my favorite.
Classroom sizes are 25, 30 to 1. Some classroom sizes are about 17 to 1. I like that the academic advisors work really personal with people, that the advisors or professors, if you would, they work really close with the students. We have free programs like the Learning Center, the Writing Center, the Spanish, or not Spanish lab, but the Language Lab. A lot of people don't even know that. We have a math lab, a language lab, a writing lab, a learning lab. We have great programs from the Disability Center. But all these things are awesome that we do, like provide for students at free.
We all have an experience in life where if we didn't work hard enough for something, we didn't get it. And we all have an experience where we did go above and beyond and we got it. So, you know, I don't understand the job market that well, but what I do understand is I get an education, I work hard, I meet the right people, I have the right attitude, I can do it, and I can get it. So I think it's